Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Toon Duelists. My name is Prototype, and today we're gonna talk about the non-engine count in our decks. And we're gonna focus on rogue and fun decks, because with meta decks it's quite obvious. I mean, you can just go to YGOBroDeck.com and look at the decks that won or topped at tournaments and see what non-engine they play and how many and stuff. So this is not gonna be the focus of the video. There's enough other videos on YouTube by very good Yu-Gi-Oh players that talk about what non-engine to use in the current format and stuff like that all the time. But yeah, like I said, we wanna look at fun and rogue decks today and how many non-engines we're gonna play. And this is supposed to be a quick video, so let's just dive into it. Alright guys, so we're talking about 40 card decks here. It's important to mention that, since obviously most decks are 40 cards. If you play 43 cards, 45 cards, 50 cards, this is not the guide for you, not the video for you. And then we're gonna look at the first column here. I'm talking about decks that have one card combos. Obviously most decks that have one card combos are meta decks. Like I said in the intro already, go to YGOBroDeck.com and check how many non-engines, hand traps, board breakers they play in those type of decks. But I still included that in here, so you have a general rule of thumb what you can do when you have decks with one card combos that you might not find on YGO Pro Deck or something like that. Then I would generally recommend 15 hand traps and board breakers. Additionally, you want to have a Called by the Grave in there. You want to have that in every type of deck, so the total non-engine in decks that have one card combos is 16. And then when you play that many hand traps or board breakers, then you can combine Fuvalos and Troll and Lock. Because Fuvalos and Troll and Lock, they somehow cancel each other out, right? Fuvalos lets you draw and Troll locks you and your opponent out of drawing. So obviously you don't want to have them together in the hand, but when you play 15 hand traps or board breakers, then you can get away with that, because with Fuvalos you can also draw into other board breakers or hand traps like Ash Blossom or Forbidden Droplet or something like that, and then it's not as bad, and therefore you can combine Fuva and Troll. Okay, but now let's talk about what we're actually here for with this video. We're going to talk about 1.5 card combos, which are usually rogue decks, 2 card combos that can be rogue decks, but also can be fun decks, and then obviously when it comes to 2.5 card combos and 3 card combos, those are more on the fun end level of Yu-Gi-Oh decks. So if you have a deck that plays 1.5 card combos, like Heroes for example, then I would generally recommend a non-engine count of 12. You play 12 hand traps or board breakers, include Called by the Grave, and then you have 13 spots of non-engine in your deck, and then you can also combine Fuvalos and Troll in here, especially now that Troll is on 2. It doesn't come up as often that you draw both of those, and if you do, it's usually fine, because either you have the gas to play through your opponent's board anyway, or you also drew another hand trap like Ash Blossom, Imperm, something like that, Forbidden Droplet, any other thing that helps you play through your opponent's board. Then when it comes to 2 card combos here, that's where it gets a little bit tricky, because 2 card combo decks can vary. Some can be rogue decks, some can be fun decks. So generally, rule of thumb, I would also recommend to play 12 spots of non-engine, add Called by the Grave, so in total you play 13. Now if you notice that you lack consistency, then you can remove 3 spots of non-engine and add 3 consistency cards, like Allure of Darkness for example. But for rogue decks, I would definitely recommend you to play 12 spots of non-engine. And same as 1.5 card combos, since the numbers of non-engine you play doesn't change, you can also put Fuva and Troll in there. And then when it comes to 2.5 card combos and 3 card combos, this is where it gets different again, but those 2 columns are basically the same. I would only play 9 spots of hand traps or board breakers in here. If you play 12, you brick too often. Also add 1 Called by, because the chance that you die from a hand trap in 2.5, and 3-card combo decks is very high. Usually you cannot play through hand traps with decks like that, so you do wanna have that slight chance of drawing Called by the Grave to block that hand trap, so you can still play. So in those decks you only play 10 spots of non-ancient in total. And then when it comes to those type of decks here, I would not recommend to play Fubalos and Troll and Lockbird, because now you only have one other hand trap in here, let's say 3 copies of Ash Blossom, and then it makes it less likely to draw the Fubalos into a non-ancient that helps you break your opponent's board or interrupt them. So yeah, you have to make your decision if you either want to play Fubalos in those type of decks or Troll. I would not play both of them. That's pretty much my experience that I've made with my decks. I play about 21, 22 decks, and I have all kinds of decks. Obviously, I have decks that I take to locals. I have decks that I play against my friends when we say, oh, let's play on a more competitive level. And then I have decks where we're gonna be like, okay, let's just play for fun. Let's play because we love the design of the cards, or we love the strategy of the deck, or it's just nostalgia, like Summon Skull deck, obviously. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know down in the comments what your experience is with non-ancient count in 40 card decks, and then I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.